Hey guys, and welcome back to the Fastest Lap podcast, joined with Mel and Ono and myself, Swift, Harry, otherwise known as. But it's the Saudi GP this time round, and we can officially say it was somewhat of a tedious one.
Yep.
If you're any other team other than a Red Bull supporter, but there was definitely some juiciness in towards the latter end of the Grand Prix. And we're just going to cover all the things that happened this weekend. So, yeah, we're going to head straight into it, I guess. So, guys, how do we want to start this off? Do we say, do you want to go over practice for a little bit? Do we say what's going on in practice, or do we head into the juicy bit of qualifying? There wasn't much happened in practice, to be honest, this time around.
Nothing ever happens in practice.
I was going to say absolutely nothing. Next.
Yeah.
I think it was just
moving swiftly on.
Yeah, just the case of just once again we're seeing how dominant that Red Bull car is, and Aston Martin's still fighting for. I would say now more in seeing through practice and stuff. That car is definitely a second position championship contender, especially with Alonso at the wheel. In comparison to where I guess I did briefly see through practice, but Mercedes and Ferrari looked better than Mercedes in practice, but Mercedes were way off it. So it was kind of the sense of, is Mercedes going to be even fighting for the third position, or has already Aston Martin cleared them in the field to be fighting at second with Ferrari, I would say. So, a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. I just think the Mercs need their engines back that they've clearly given to Aston Martin.
Oh,
their cars aren't really that great, are they? I think we've seen definitely this race. Ferrari need to acknowledge that they're not even in contention for second at the minute in either championships. Like the Aston Martins, they've just cut right through past the Mercs, past the Ferraris, and they've given it full beans this season. And I hope it carries on. It's so fresh.
Yes,
it's refreshing. It's nice to see.
I think the big part of it as well is, with it being so fresh, you have to wonder, I mean, what came out with practice, Charles Leclerc had a penalty given to him straight off the bat from the obviously engine malfunction that happened in Bahrain, but also what they're saying with Aston Martin being a pretty much carbon copy of the Red Bull, seeing as one of the chief engineers from Mercedes left in 2012 and went to Aston Martin, and one of the chief engineers at Red Bull left in 2022 and joined Aston Martin, and now the car's quick in 2023. You can only think, the cars are pretty much, with their side pods, the Aston Martin, a carbon copy of the Red Bulls, where they've got that idea from. Don't know. But also the championship car that was the 2021 car for the Merc. Obviously coming from a Merc engineer. So yeah, the Aston Martin team are definitely a leap and bound over Ferrari at the moment and Merc. In a sad way, but we're not going to...
I don't think anyone saw it coming. It could be worse. Your team could be running plumb last every race. How do you think I felt?
We'll get onto that a bit later.
I don't think anyone expected it going into the season, especially with having Djokovic in the car during testing. Bahrain was a shock enough as it is. Now we've seen they're still dominant in Jeddah. Are they still going to be dominant in Melbourne, or is something going to happen? Are they going to have an engine failure? Who knows?
I'd like to see, personally, how long this performance advantage is going to extend itself, through the season. Whether Aston Martin are going to keep the performance up, only time will tell. But straight off the bat, like you said, Mel, it's very interesting and very fresh for us to see, obviously, a new top team, shall we say.
Yeah. I just wasn't expecting Lawrence to actually care enough to recruit. He seems to be recruiting the best people for the job, rather than just use the team as like his little hobby or whatever. So it's nice that the car's actually decent and it also looks sexy. Like you can't have a
Yeah.
sexy car and not have it perform well. At least we get that.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, the car does look good. He keeps talking about the you guys seen in the interviews. I think it was after practice where Lawrence was talking about their 5-year plan that they keep talking about. They're like, oh, I'm going to think.
No.
The Lawrence was in the pit lane. I think it was after Bahrain, actually. It might have been after Bahrain, but he was talking about this as part of their 5-year plan because they've now developed or in the process of developing a new factory.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they're in the development of obviously building this new factory. And if this is part of their 5-year plan into becoming a top team, I mean, they're well on their way with earning third position, then fourth position, then third position.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting to see where they're going to end up with the rest of the season, to be honest. Should we head on to quali? Let's get fair. Fuck practice. Practice was shite. We're going to head into quali.
Practice is always awful.
So yeah, we'll start off with the big trifecta that was Max Verstappen coming to pretty much a full stop in the, was it Q2? It was Q2.
Yeah, I think the transmissions went in Q2.
So it was drivetrain, wasn't it? Yeah, something like that.
Got no idea.
Max Verstappen. No one knows any idea. I'm trying to keep this somewhat serious.
You didn't even know, like none of them knew themselves.
Yeah, that's the thing is they thought it was an engine problem. The pundits were saying that it was a transmission issue. Who knows?
I also know that I found it hysterical. The camera footage of when you pitted and they're all like scrambling about and someone just pushes the cameraman out.
Yeah, there's this one mechanic who like took a deep breath and it just went off. Yeah.
Someone said it's like one of the episodes out of The Office. Pretty much.
I think I know which one you're on about.
It's when
the camera was moving as well.
Yeah.
That made it Office like.
Yeah. It's like everybody stay calm. Don't panic. Everybody stay fucking calm. I don't think anyone expected Max to be out in Q2 at all.
No.
This whole season.
No.
It livened up the field as such because what with Max was dominant pretty much throughout that whole weekend. It was just Checo that kind of, was the only factor that would halter Max Verstappen, really.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Mercs were nowhere near. Ferrari were nowhere near. Aston Martin was somewhat close, but still, it was. So through Q2, the Red Bulls had pretty much, I think it was 5/10, 6/10 advantage over the rest of the field. And that's a rocket ship. You don't get like 1 lap pace. But yeah, even with Charles Leclerc's penalty or anything like that, Ferrari knew that they weren't even going to get anywhere close to it. And also the fact that Merc kept saying, Lewis undoubtedly saying the car he's not happy with in the slightest. So there's doubt in Lewis's head at the start. So that what team is going to be fighting with Red Bull? The teams are all up in arms about with each other. Who knows what's going to happen?
True. Just going to be another argument between Max and Checo, probably.
Yeah.
I wonder how much we'll see of a repeat, like Monaco gate, with the tapping of the brake pedal to stop the quali and all that jazz. Well, I mean, Checo's already proven over the last couple of years he runs the streets. Like street circuits are definitely his thing, his element. So I wasn't surprised to see how dominant he was.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Even to take, he's always been quite. So what is it, Baku? Baku last time? Yeah. Obviously, Max
he did
had
Baku and Monaco.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It reminds me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, and obviously let us know in the comments. But for me personally, it's not reminiscent of Rosberg Hamilton, but it's getting close to that stage now where they're doing not bitchy things towards each other. I wouldn't call it bitchy, but it's more just gamesmanship between the two drivers, in the sense that we found out last year with Monaco about Perez possibly binning it on purpose into the barrier. Then we found out that Verstappen in Brazil would not give the place to Checo, despite him potentially getting second place in the championship. So they're at war, not at war with each other, but they're just playing these silly little mind games that teammates do with each other at the time. So whether this year we're going to see Rosberg and Hamilton, once again, time will tell. But I'm feeling somewhat reminiscent of that rivalry, I guess, within the team. Because you can see, even with it, I don't know, I tend to get your ideas on it, guys, but even after the race, I know we're going to touch on that but later, but after the race, it wasn't quite there, if you understand what I mean, with both of them.
Yeah. I mean, I saw some press releases that had like come out over Twitter and stuff saying Max hadn't shown up, I think, to like the team briefing after quali. And if that's happening this early on, when there's no sort of definite curve as to who's going to win the championship between like the two of them, I think it's quite Red Bull as a team should be extremely concerned for how their orders are going to play about for the rest of the year, because they already saw last year that Max isn't going to so easily let Checo win if he doesn't believe he deserves to, even though he did deserve to have the places swapped, etc. So Red Bull, I think, should be really worried. Actually, I think the rivalry will grow a lot this year, and it will possibly continue into next year, depending on how this year pans out.
I love it.
Great.
I'm here for all of that. I've been waiting for Checo to grow some balls. I think he's starting to develop them.
Yeah, I agree with you, buddy.
I mean, he had to drive a crappy racing point for God knows how many years. He gets into a Red Bull, he starts winning like the occasional race, so he knows, like, he even won in a crappy racing point. So he's definitely got such a like developed skill set that he's able to do it. And Max is scared of that, as he should be.
Yeah, but that actually may be it. I never thought of that.
Yeah, because if you think about it, they're in the same car.
Yeah,
Within reason, like they are both driving the same machine, so they both have the equal opportunity for success as well as failure.
It'll be quite interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
Just from an entertainment viewpoint, it's not even the sense of like, I know you touched on it earlier, Mel, with the team orders and everything like that. Like, I want to see a reminiscent of, you know, multi 21 with the Seb and Mark Webber, and obviously Rosberg and Lewis. When you have that inter-team rivalry, it just makes it a little bit more interesting, as opposed to watching Red Bull just dominate every fucking race. You know, just 1-2, do it for the team, boys. Well, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we want to see that rivalry there. We want to see that racing between each other in the teams.
Yeah, because as well, there'll come a point where usually drivers' champion is defined before constructors. So whoever's crowned champion, however far into the season till we get to that point, they then have to work together, regardless of the outcome, to make sure they could then bring home constructors for the team.
Should we
So spicy.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it on like Drive to Survive. Like Will Buxton's like, a team's rivalry between the teammates will always be the biggest threat to any Formula One team. I can see it. There'll be like slow-mos of Max and Checo.
Which is Will Buxton.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you actually do get in a few crashes. Just the way like Checo was paranoid when he was getting told anything about Max and vice versa, and it was like, oh,
yeah.
Please make it entertaining, boys. You're our only hope. That's what I would say.
Would it be easy to talk about McLaren in the qualifying stage? Apart from Piastri, Piastri come fucking in first Q3. This is second race. He gets Q3. We're gonna talk about the race a little bit later, Mel. Don't worry about it. You don't need to sync or anything. We know your boy Lando is we qualified pretty much. What was he P9?
Why? Lando's not even there. He's being relegated as well from the background. He's been ditched.
Oh, there he is! Lando, what do you think about P19 for your Q? For Q1?
We can only go forward from here, really, can't we? Can't go any further back.
I mean, yeah. Obviously, McLaren. Sergeant, what was it? Sergeant P20, yeah. And then work your way down. But yeah, McLaren. Piastri did well. Q3.
Piastri did brilliant.
Yeah.
It shocked me.
Oscar Piastri.
I completely forgot that. Like, he did so well in quali.
Yeah.
I was literally, while we were talking, I was like, let me just check who did well in quali again. I was like, oh shit. Like, when did he end up there?
He's won at Saudi before, so it wasn't very surprising. It was like, I know he had the skill set to do it. Didn't realize he had the car to do that well.
Yeah, okay.
So
what is this, an F2?
Yeah, he won in Saudi in F2. He knows the track really well. I was just surprised that he was able to get that performance out of the car in quali. But then again, that's one lap race pace. Clearly didn't have it in the race.
Yeah, it was quite strange. So we had, Piastri obviously getting into Q3. Weirdly enough, the Alpines as well were quick again. So, like, Bahrain, they weren't that good. And now, I think Ocon was, like, 7th. Yeah, Gasly was 10th and relegated Tsunoda. Yeah. So that was interesting to see the horrible livery. We're going to continue. This is a repetitive thing on this podcast. We hate that livery in content.
Speak for yourselves.
Do you like it?
It's disgusting.
I love it.
Oh,
because I love it way more than the pink and blue.
No, because the pink is the bad part.
They shouldn't be clashed ever.
Yeah, pink and blue.
It's a disgrace to the French. It's a disgrace to the French nation. They all should be rioting. Like the disgusting liveries that they come up with.
I'm rising because the pink livery is disgusting.
Oh.
I don't know what's worse, the livery or Alpine's merch prices.
What? What's wrong with Alpine's merch prices?
It's like €80 for a top.
Wow.
What, for a C-graded team? What?
Yeah.
I blame Gasly. I blame him.
It's the Pierre Gasly effect.
Yeah, it is. Anything that man touches turns to gold. So, like,
I mean,
well, in terms of like merch, etc.
I'm just seeing a meme in my head of just Gasly just touching like a rock and it just turns to a pink Alpine shirt. Like, yeah, gold.
So bad. One more race of pain with that pink livery, and then it's gone for another year.
Did they only say it for three races, was it?
Yeah, they've got it for 3.
I just don't understand why they have to like try and bring like this throwback connection to Force India. Like, I don't get it. Let it go. I don't know why you're trying to. Because that's the only thing that it reminds me of. It doesn't remind me of Alpine or Renault.
No, exactly right.
Ugh.
It's cringing.
It's so bad.
But yeah, yeah, I'd say that's pretty much the whole interscope of Alpine and everything and quali, and it was just but yeah, we'll make our way onto the race, the juicy part, which is meant to house the most excitement over the weekend. It gets your blood flowing. You've got your little snacky snacks around you. You maybe have a beer or a wine, or you maybe even have your mum and your dad and everybody around you. You sit down, you wait for
it was
Crofty
Mother's
to say,
Day.
it was.
Happy Mother's Day,
Yeah.
mums.
Happy Mother's Day, mums out there. Yeah, yeah. All the thumbs up to our mums. Mum probably doesn't even watch this.
You didn't get one from me.
But yeah, all the juicy part, and I would say it was a bore fest, but we still had some excitement in there, I guess. Yeah. What do you guys? What did you guys think of the race? Go on, I'll let you guys start us off.
It starts off with like Alonso into turn one, overtaking Perez, and you're like, Russell goes into third, and you're like, oh, and then yeah, it's done.
I mean, personally, it was kind of downhill from as soon as the race started.
Yeah. Because didn't both cars actually in the first few laps got damaged?
I saw a video just before we started filming. Oscar had damage to his front wing, which then flew back and twatted Lando's car, and then he almost went into the wall. And yeah, I just don't get it. It's so bad. Like, I was really confused. I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, where are they? And oh, they're right at the bottom again. The pain.
McLaren fans have not had it.
Pain. I couldn't even make any memes. That's when you know it's bad. McLaren, sort your shit out. I can't be dealing with this every week.
Fix your fucking car.
You've got a problem. Change your fucking car. No, then you change your car.
It's a tough time to be a McLaren fan, obviously. Yeah.
I know. I might switch to Alpine.
Yeah, mate, they didn't do bad, to be fair, over the race.
I'll find myself some Alpine buddies or something. I
don't think you'll be able to do that because according to Harry last time, the only people who were Alpine supporters are French, and the have baguettes and frog legs.
Yeah, I remember that. One Alpine supporter friend, so that's more than none. Maybe they know like a secret or something. I don't know.
I beg someone in the comments just went, "Shut the fuck up, Swift. You don't know what you're talking about. I love Alpine. Alpine are great. You're the best team on earth." Like, oh, fuck it. I'm sorry, man.
I'll get my friend on it. He calls Alpine the underdogs, and I was like, are they?
I just don't. Maybe when it was Renault, but I don't know. I don't see any appeal to that team. Even when Daniel Ricciardo went to Renault, there was still no appeal around that team. It wasn't really like a standout team where you think like, oh yeah, they're maybe going to change up the game. It wasn't. But you know, I'm talking as a Merc fan. I can't really talk. I've had years of championships, and then now I've got years of none. So,
I mean, I did say themselves, it's a dead team. To be honest with you,
it's like I don't know many Haas fans either, or like AlphaTauri. Like I know a couple of I know a few Haas fans around here, but even then, it was because they were the underdog. So that's the reason why they got into like supporting Haas as a team. Obviously, people support the. It'd be interesting to know, actually, guys, if you all of our audio listeners and people that watch, it'd be interesting to know what teams and drivers you support, or if you just watch it neutrally. It'd be nice to understand what percentage of our viewership actually is, you know, agreeing with what we're saying about art. Like, I don't know, me and Onomey, for example, we obviously support Merc, whereas Mel's McLaren. So it'd be interesting to see like where our viewership stems. Are we diehard teams? Are we diehard drivers? Or are we just there to watch the show? You know what I mean? So let us know. Let us know what teams you guys
It's just more so Harry knows who he could get away with insulting on the next episode. This is his market research.
Like,
You got me there.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, yeah, in the race, we didn't see much happen. Obviously, Alonso, Perez then getting past Alonso. We saw Max obviously working his way up, and yeah, pretty much a rocket ship on rails. We saw
in the top 10 by like the like what, like 8th lap.
Yep. The car, oh mate, it's funny in a way because like I was saying this with Merck, where not that I was getting bored of it, but it was more like when you have a dominating team. I don't know how you guys feel, but when you have a dominating team, the race just kind of, it doesn't thrill you to see that dominating team. You want to see just fighting, I guess. It's just not
chaos.
Yeah, not yeah, probably a little bit chaos. Chaos is all right. I mean, we had somewhat chaos leading on to this. We had obviously Verstappen going up into 10th place, and then safety car being brought out by Lance motherfucking Stroll, daddy issues.
Yeah, which I still don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, I do understand, but I don't, because the car wasn't on the track. It was on an exit road, I'm pretty sure. So like, whereas when last year, I don't know what track it was at. I think it was one of the Italy ones. When Daniel was actually stopped on the track, it took them ages to get a safety car out. But Lance just like pulled over on the side after, I don't know, Mike Cracker's like, stop the car, stop the car.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it was hardly on the track. Yeah. It acted like it was about to explode and he has to make a runner for it. And the safety car was just out in an instant. And I was like, did we really need a full safety car? I feel like a virtual safety car would have been more than enough.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't on the track. So
apparently what
we all
Martin
know the
said,
FIA don't know what they're doing.
Oh
You
god.
don't know what you're doing.
The governing body, yeah, probably not. Martin Brundle said on the TV at the time, the reason as to why they brought the safety car out, because the tracker or the GPS on the car was showing as it was stopped on circuit, when actually it wasn't. So like, was it last year that Nicholas Latifi binned it at that spot, or was it the year before? I can't
Probably
remember.
both.
Yeah, Nicholas Latifi binned it.
Both.
Nicholas Latifi binned it at that point.
Happened.
It's the car, I swear it's the car.
Sorry.
No, Latifi.
I don't know what happened.
No, go Latifi. Come on now. All right. He's a brilliant driver. I love the guy. I said this last year. I'm saying it again. The guy is lovely. I love him. He's good to have in the paddock. You know, I'll be sad to see him go. Now he's gone. I miss him. I don't understand it.
Last.
I don't understand
Nice guys bin the car and say they don't know what happened.
Jesus Christ.
I don't like him. He's rubbish.
Oh my god. But
what a shame.
But yeah, obviously the safety car comes out, and then Max takes full advantage of that safety car and puts himself up into I think it was P3 at that point, because he pits during the safety car, which is crazy. From like P8 to fucking P3. Wait, it's on those pros.
Yep.
She's just got like a really cheeky grin. We've got some technical difficulties. I've got my dog going crazy over some crisps right now.
Oh.
Let's just have a funny segment, I guess. For all you audio listeners, we've got Ono just lagging out at the moment. I'm picking up my big dog.
Oh my god, what's the dog doing?
Mila, what do you think of Ferrari being shit, Mercedes being shit, Red Bull doing really well, and McLaren just being absolute ass as always?
She's too stunned to speak.
Yeah, she said woof.
Yeah.
All right, there you go, baby. Come on.
What's the dog doing?
What's the dog do?
Open
He's
the
massive.
door.
On your bed, go on. We're back with the camera. We're back. There's some technical difficulties.
Am I still frozen, or am I good?
No, you're good to go.
No, you're pretty thawed out.
Okay.
So yeah, where were we? What were we talking about? I have no idea.
Max absolutely rocket blasting it after pitting.
Thinking about your dog headphones on, and now I'm just like, oh.
Our mascot, everybody.
Shall I get some merch and do fastest lap merch and put a t-shirt on her?
Yes.
Or would you like?
Can we get mugs? Can we get matching mugs?
Matching mugs?
Yeah.
What? H. Yeah, do our initials.
Yeah, and then the logo on the other side.
Yeah, I'll be game.
Ooh.
So.
For all you listeners out there, we might get some merch.
Student loan isn't cutting it anymore.
But yeah, we need to think of other ways to get money. But right, back to the race. Yeah,
Max.
we were saying earlier as well before this started. We need to keep on track with what we're saying, and we've just completely just catapulted into other shit again.
Well, that time it was Ono's fault.
What is it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Max obviously catapulted up into third position after making the best advantage I've ever seen from a safety car, I think. And then on his way to try and challenge with Perez. Obviously, we'll talk about Merc real quick with the Lewis and George situation for all you Team LH motherfuckers out there. Stop bitching. Like, just keep it easy. Yeah. Mel, you got anything to add? Or Ono, you got anything to add about teammate LH?
I just don't get it. Why have you got to be such a knob? You're not doing great for your team. At least be supportive of your teammate.
Go on, Ono. I know you got something to say, buddy.
So, if you don't follow me, you won't know that I may or may not have tweeted "fuck George" when that incident occurred. I don't know why I did it. My thumbs just took control. Yeah.
This is Ono's press release statement. I'm sorry.
I'm 100% not sorry. But it was rage. Like, I didn't even, like, as I was saying to these before, it wasn't necessarily angry that he wouldn't let Lewis pass. It was just the fact that it was a shit excuse. Well, you didn't even give one. You tried to use Alonso. Give Alonso his trophy back, by the way, George. You little thief.
Have you seen the photo of Alonso and all the memes everyone's making? Alonso at George's door to get the trophy back. The thing is, right, Ono, the difference is between George and Lewis, only one of them's won a race in the last year. So I don't think you should really have to have swapped places.
Neither did I. I was just angry. It was just the way you were, like, he goes, "Oh, Alonso's got like the 5-second penalty," and he's like, "No, Alonso's already done it." And he's like, "Oh, if you can't come up with a reason, fucking let him pass then."
Yeah.
That's it. That's nothing to do with the fact that it was Lewis or whatever, because I don't think he would have had the pace to even catch up to Alonso, and if he did, he would have had to pit, I think, because those mediums were starting to be on the rocks. So, yeah.
Yeah.
For Team LH is another another different method, isn't it?
I think we'll go into the aftermath of Team HH. Obviously, in the race, I can see it. I got signed George Russell fucking photo up there. So, but in my standpoint, obviously, Ono likes to put out very ragey remarks about Mercedes.
I'm just glad she put it on her own account and didn't accidentally tweet it on ours.
Oh, that's what I thought. I read it.
I was going to, and then I was like, "Don't do it."
You tweeted, I don't know who it was, but someone tweeted a meme, and it was great.
Oh, I put a meme of George to Lewis, and it was just Toto sticking his middle finger.
Fantastic.
It's really good.
Yeah, so I would have personally. I don't know. if Lewis got past, I personally don't think he would have caught up to Alonso, but then I don't think he would have either kept George behind as well. I personally think it would have just evened itself out. Like, I think he would have got ahead of George, gained about maybe a second and a half, 2 seconds, but then over the laps, George would have then just eaten him back up again. Because at that point, when the line did cross, Lewis was like 2.5, 3 seconds behind. So whether Lewis can make up, I think he said afterwards as well that the car, shit. But
he was struggling with the tyres a lot during the race.
Yeah.
Which is a skill issue, to be honest.
Yeah, big skill issue for a 7-time world champ. It's massive.
Yeah. Like, complaining about your tyres is one thing. I'm like, you've been champion for 7 years. You should know how to manage your tyres. Complaining about the car, I understand. If it's shit bucket, it's a shit bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's just the fact that as well, after everyone like losing this shit, he said afterwards that no one on the radio ever said for George to let Hamilton past anyway. But I thought I heard them say, but afterwards they went, by the way, we have to like make it was almost like it was a statement, like they'd been told by Mick to say. He's like, by that blonde guy, I can't remember his name. Like, we have to make it clear that at no stage in the race did George get told to let Lewis through. Like, that did not happen. Like, just trying to make it clear that they're not giving Lewis preferential treatments, I guess.
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, Merck love a little press statement email because they sent one out after Bahrain being like, we're so sorry, we let you fans down.
Yeah, they do that all the time.
The car that we wanted to give you. I was like, rather than writing a friggin' letter to your fans because ChatGPT can do it for you, fix your car.
Speaking of speaking of Murph, by the way, I know everybody hates Rosberg. I have ranted about Rosberg, but I have to give him props because he tried to go into that whole Lewis and Rosberg thing again. When I think Rosberg said, like after the Lewis interview, he was like, "That's it. I've been beaten by my teammate face."
Yeah,
and that blonde guy, I don't know his name, said, "Oh, you used to love that face, blah blah blah," and tried to like make it a him and versus Hamilton issue. And he went, "No, I'm not talking about that. Like, that's in the past. Let's like focus
you finally
on
learned
what happened." And I was like, "Ooh, ooh." Someone want more job opportunities. Ooh.
Yeah, maybe he realised after being an anti-vaxxer and not being allowed in the paddock that he needs to talk about things that are interesting and not his past like rivalry, because that's all he would like comment on. It was boring.
Shock me.
What, the Rosberg no longer talking about Lewis? That's his pain. But yeah, the race carried on. Obviously, Mac dog shit, but I think, yeah, the race kind of panned out. Checo sat down, Mac sat down. They did have a little bit of race radio, a palaver, but all in all, I think the race as a whole, it was quite boring. We saw a lot of the teams. It was quite like they were quite spaced out. Towards the end of the race, we saw the battle with Piastri, Norris, and Sargent, but then it kind of like everyone over that, like the Freeze obviously shows Hulkenberg, Sonoda, Magnussen getting points, and then Gasly, Ocon, and then the two Ferraris, Merc, Aston Martin. It just kind of everybody was just set at like certain intervals, and no one was closing up to each other. No one was getting further away, and towards the end of the race, it was just kind of we just sat back for the ride. Really, that wasn't really much changing. But that was it. Max Verstappen wins the fucking Checo Perez wins the Saudi Grand Prix.
How dare you?
Listeners, we're going to get on to the good bit. The spicer that happened afterwards with obviously the FIA. We're going to talk the FIA, right? We're starting this here. We're talking the FIA and how the FIA are essentially a mafia, I think. Conspiracists behind the backs of all the teams. They're just like, you know what, fuck it. We don't give a shit about the rules. We're just going to make up our own goddamn rules. That's it.
If you go to their LinkedIn, you will see they're currently hiring all new staff. Because they need to.
Oh, it's just a joke. Like, our sport is meant to be like one of the highest governed / like rules should definitely fucking matter sports in the world. It's just rules should matter anyway. Got big difference, but the fact that Alonso got given a 10-second penalty after 37 laps after the incident, which then demoted him a place, which gave another driver a trophy to hold on to, despite Alonso being up on the podium, and then had to give it back to Alonso afterwards because the penalty got revoked.
Yeah.
Oh, it just makes our sport look a joke, an absolute joke.
The Aston Martins were actually really prepared. I did a bit of like reading up on it, and they once the 10-second penalty had been administered, they had gathered evidence and incidences where the same or similar situations have happened, and they haven't that penalty hasn't been given. Because if you look at the starting grid, you can see there are a couple other cars in line with Alonso's car.
Oh,
but
really?
Nothing happened to them. Yeah, there was a couple. I think Charles might have been one of them.
Oh my god.
But boy, you can't take any more penalties. Not one race. But
I just didn't understand. I clearly don't know names, so I'm not gonna say say that because I have no idea who it was. He was showing the replays on the camera of why he got the 10-second penalty, and he's going pointing at the screen right there. That's when the I was like, what are you
Oh,
on about?
Karun Jandok. You're talking about Karun Jandok.
I was like, why are you lying, Karun? You can't see when that jack touches that car. Stop lying.
Yeah.
You physically cannot see it. And also Aston Martin's equipment said otherwise, said that it did not make contact at that point. So they literally have equipment technology that is used for that purpose, and you're gonna tell me the technology's wrong. Your eyes, the FIA are right. Nah.
He did one season in F1 for a reason. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god, Slate.
I could do a better job than him.
Oh, I'd like to see him try, mate.
That, you could watch it and go, I disagree there. Look at the footage. You can't tell whether that happened, but instead he's like, yeah, they're right. So that's where it happened. Look there, and I was like,
did you see his he posted a selfie of his flight back from Saudi to the UK, and it's just him on the flight. It's like a commercial flight, and it's just him. There's no one sat next to him. It's so lonely. It's brilliant.
Oh my god. Poor guy.
Oh my god, I don't know. He found that funny.
He deserves it.
But yeah. Once again, our sport is up in arms. We've had Lewis Hamilton as well talking about Mercedes being the car being awful, and then when questioned about George Russell, he's like, "That's got nothing to do with me. That's not my race." But yeah, no, it's good for the team. I was thinking, what the fuck is going on in this man's head? Is he lost?
It's because George really isn't another Bottas. Everyone was so worried he was going to become another Bottas, but they made a shit car last year. George got performance out of it. Lewis didn't, and the same thing is happening this year.
Mm-hmm.
Except the fact that he's not going to win this year.
Yeah, it's there's obviously get Team LH. Where it depends, whatever you support, but George is producing results, whereas Lewis hasn't quite got to grips with that car. And whether Mercedes view him still as a number one driver, I don't know, but it's clearly affecting his mental space because Lewis is all over the place in terms of in the media pens. Because he'll say one thing, and obviously his press PR rep or whoever it is will whisper in his ear and say "Oh, you can't really go on to too much detail about that," and then he'll come back with a different answer. I think you mentioned it earlier, actually, Mel. He'll come back with a different answer 20 minutes later, and you're like, "Wait, what? You just said that."
Yeah, it's like you've spoken to two different people.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's because he's so he preaches all this like Zen crap. I'm telling you, it's that. And then so he'll like have his first outburst, which is old Lewis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
young Lewis. He'll have his first outburst. Well, to me, it's an outburst because they're polite. He'll have an outburst, and then like yeah, like you said, 20 minutes later, he'll realize, oh no, I'm not about that life. I've calmed down. I'm like, right, let me take the sensible approach. But like in regards to like his car last season, it was clear. Like I think I said it last. I remember saying it last season that like I don't like the fact that he's having to take the brunt of
Yeah.
the shit box and George is being allowed to drive the better car. Because eventually it'll like can have a massive impact on him. You can clearly see that it has because already what 2 races in and like he's gonna start hating George.
Yeah.
Like, because I would, even though it's not George's fault, he's given the card he's given. Um, but like he needs to either take it upon himself to say, "Nah, I'm not having this anymore." Like it needs to be more even or whatever it may be. I don't know what they've done, or so something that made me laugh was Toto talking about the car. Um, when Rosberg was talking to him about it, and he said like, "Are you gonna go down the Red Bull approach?" And he didn't want to say yes, so he's like, "Well, I'll go down whatever approach is like possible. It doesn't matter if it's a British double decker bus. I'm going down that approach if it's fast or whatever." So I think they've given up already. 2 races in, they're gonna copy Red Bull, but he was trying not to say in those words, "I am copying Red Bull," but
Because that would be plagiarism.
yeah.
We saw in the actually, I read up on an article not too long ago where Toto actually said that they're bringing upgrades to the next. I think it's 2 or 3 races where they said the upgrades that they've brought from the wind tunnel is potentially going to make them go back into race wins. And I personally think we're going to see, obviously, Merck are the only team that have adopted the zero side pod philosophy. And I wouldn't be half surprised if we see side pods back on that car.
Yeah.
That's where I think the upgrades are going to come from. But with their upgrades, they'd obviously have to rework the floor, rework the back of the car, rework the suspension. So it's either going to be replaced with a brand new car or not. We'll have to wait and see. But if these upgrades are coming over the next 2 or 3 races, and Toto believes, sometimes you have to take what they say with a pinch of salt. But if somewhat what Toto says is not gospel in a way, but he is kind of right in sometimes what he says. I think, yeah, personally, we'll see an upgrade from Merck in terms of a change in philosophy of the car, but I don't think it will be a race winning car. I personally think they should chalk the season off as well, but we'll wait and see, I guess. We'll wait and see.
I just don't understand how they're so badly like planned. I
Mm,
feel like
Yeah.
I feel like they've number one, they've been slacking on engineers, etc., and thought they could get by with the same people who have brought them the glory and didn't think about the future young people who were coming through. And now everyone has realized like Red Bull have took that opportunity of getting the new up and coming people or like people who want to evolve. So they've all shipped over to like other teams, especially moved over to Red Bull. And even at that point, they didn't go, "Oh shit!" Like everyone's leaving here. Like everyone's going on to better things. Like we need to start planning better or whatever. Or even regards to the car, you're seeing it was crap last season. So why have you decided, especially with the no side pods, why have you decided with your whole chest to carry on with that?
mm,
Like at least say like Aston Martin had their car, and then they said in the background we were working on the same side pods as Red Bull. I don't think Mercedes have done anything like that. Like I don't I think only now if they went, oh shit, now we've got to come up with something. You should have a backup one. Your bloody Mercedes, like you should have the best of the best in every area, and you've just slacked, and now you're seeing the results of it.
What about Checo being parred off by? Yeah, we'll talk about it. Checo after the race. If you didn't see the end of the race, Checo obviously went to celebrate with his team, which I thought was actually quite wholesome when he celebrated with the Aston Martin team. A lot of people had different attitudes towards Checo celebrating with the Aston Martin team, but hey, you come from your background. You got to be like, yeah, boys, you did this. But obviously Jos Verstappen wasn't very happy. He did congratulate him, where a lot of fans didn't actually quite see it. Jos Verstappen did congratulate him afterwards, but he was kind of stood there like an unhappy father, while Max Verstappen doesn't actually pull into Parc Ferme. He parks his car up in the pits and just walks off. He's not happy. It was just kind of like a...
I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't expect Jos to be kissing everyone like Papa Perez does. But, like, it's just disrespectful, I think. You're both racing for the same team. Yes, you're still technically rivals, but you should be allowed to push each other and just be respectful, because someone's going to win and someone's not going to win.
Yeah.
And then if you're not the person who's winning, then just do better, I guess. Can't be that difficult, can it?
I like in regards to like Max parking away from his dad, I would 100% do that myself, because I feel like he's the type of father that you should not be near when you fail in the slightest bit.
Well,
like so
there's that he said as a child that he had like did a stupid mistake in a karting race, and his dad left him at the track for hours, and then I think his mum had come and picked him up afterwards to like punish him. Like, I get tough love, but Jesus,
bit too much, but yeah.
And maybe like Max is being the bigger person in the sense where he's like, yeah, my dad's acting like a knob, and I'm not going to interact with him, but I'm going to hug Christian because he's like my second dad.
His boss.
Yeah. He's there for the family dinners. I bet he loves a bit of karaoke with Jerry.
Jesus Christ. Max Verstappen and Jerry Holloway doing karaoke. Holloway, sorry.
Yeah. Horner technically,
but yeah, Ferrari obviously did well in the race. Yeah, we'll touch on. Yeah, Ferrari, Leclerc come back up. It was obviously Sainz and Leclerc. They didn't really have any pace. They didn't even catch up to the Merc, which was quite interesting, I thought.
They didn't really have a strategy, did they?
Nah, I would have thought Ferrari would have blown Merc to bits at Saudi, but they didn't, which is a bit strange, to be honest.
Well, Charles spent half the race arguing with Xavi on the radio.
Yeah, that's it.
He's like, you need to tell me this before, which I agree with.
No, what did he say? Be this real. I don't know what to do. That sums up Ferrari.
Yeah. Like, Charles will complain about something, Xavi will go, okay, understood. And they won't get back. They do it with Carlos as well. They go, copy. And then they don't get back to them with anything. And they just leave them to, like, drown, essentially, in the race, which, like, communication.
Yeah.
Come on. Like,
we all know Ferrari strategists have always been fucking shit. And
clowns.
Yeah.
I've seen that pit wall. Jesus.
Hey ho, right. I think we've covered everything. Should we do our predictions for the Melbourne Grand Prix? It's not this week, is it? It's next week.
No, it's next week, because we're actually
on time. Yeah, we're actually filming on time.
Good job. Round of applause.
Should we do? Yeah, we'll do race winner for the Melbourne Grand Prix. Mel, you go. Charles. Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's not like we're gonna remember the Grand Prix, is it?
No. Oh no! It's the Melbourne Grand. I just realised there's times.
Yeah.
Times.
I don't know if the app takes into consideration the clocks. but it's either at 6 or 7. And last time somebody brought up their audio and we couldn't do the episode.
We're gonna have to like record footage of ourselves attempting to watch it and falling asleep.
Yeah. I was thinking we should do a watch along and then we can't fall asleep.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Okay, so my app is telling me FP1 is 2:30 a.m, FP2 is 6 a.m, FP3 is 2:30 a.m, Q1 is 6 a.m, and the race starts at 6 a.m. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. That's going to be a fucking rough start. Oh, well.
What a shame.
Onomey, your prediction?
Americans, Australians, etc. like, dry your tears. We have to do this all the time.
Yeah,
innit? My prediction, I'm going to go for Checo again.
Oh, I'm going to say Checo as well. The double back-to-back.
Become a demon.
Yeah, Checo back-to-back wins. And I hope, well, I don't hope, but I hope Merca somewhat second, third, and then obviously Alonso and Max Verstappen nowhere near. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you so much for watching. This has been our Saudi episode. Obviously, go follow us on all our socials. We're on TikTok, Twitter, and all that jazz. As always, at the fastest up off. It's been myself, Harry, and yeah, you can say goodbye, guys. I ain't gonna say goodbye for you.
Bye.
See you guys next episode.
Good night, guys. All the best. Take care.